protect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com. In the future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now.
Featuring the unconventional duo, Dr. Shirley and medium Kellee White.
Two perspectives, one world.
This is Both Sides Now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Both Sides Now. I'm Dr. Shirley.
And I'm medium Kellee White.
And we have producer John with us.
Hello, hello, ladies. Happy to be here.
Yay. Oh, you have your microphone now.
I do, yeah.
How
Yay.
lovely.
I know,
We're
right?
moving up in the world.
And we're in a
Love
different
it.
studio today, so.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to you, Cheryl.
So I know. Usually we're across from each other, but you can't see that because we're on two separate cameras. But we will be moving around different studios just so you guys can, get to know the studio really well.
And I'll find the right one and be on time.
There we go. So we welcome everyone to the show. We're going to have a wonderful topic. It is toxic relationships, and I think we can all
Toxic love relationships.
toxic love relationships, exactly, because we can all have toxic relationships with friends and maybe coworkers.
Yeah, we'll do a
and-
show on toxic workplaces another
Yeah,
time, but
yeah.
this is really about toxic love relationships.
Right. So why don't you give us a briefing on where the planets are and when we can expect for Mercury to go back to,
All right. Yeah.
back to normal so
God.
my computer works nicely?
Oh, I know. And I'm sorry you were in a little bit of a car accident
I was
today.
in a fender bender today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that
no.
part of Mercury retrograde?
Yes.
too?
Kind of, it
Kinda.
is. I'll tell you what it's also part of is that lunar eclipse that we had.
That's right. I
Yeah.
looked at the moon last night
Wasn't
and the
it
night
something?
before. Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
beautiful.
the energy that, comes through that are people are not paying attention. They're caught up in their own drama, their own relationship drama,
Yeah,
truly.
yeah.
And so I think that's probably what happened to you.
Well, it's funny because I try not to. I mean, not that I'm Susie Sunshine, but I always try to see what the message is because it happened where I was stopped. I take my dad to the doctors and he's, 87, so he's older, and someone just backed into me. And so nobody got hurt. It's just the pain of now having to go and get the car fixed.
Of course.
So that to me is the universe kind of nudging me and saying, hey, pay attention. Either slow down or,
Don't do too much.
Exactly. So I
Something
see
like
it as that. And again, it's a pain in the ass to have to go
Oh,
and do it, but I always try and see what the message is. And my dad, poor thing, he was, I'm so sorry. It's because you had to take me to the doctors.
Oh,
Poor
poor
guy.
guy. Well, Mercury goes direct on the 22nd.
Okay.
But what that means, so the 22nd is Wednesday. Is that right? Is that Wednesday?
Yes.
So bad.
Yes.
But it actually is 2
No,
or 3 days
22nd
after
is
that.
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yeah,
so
so
let's say
This
by the
coming Thursday.
So
'Cause-
by the weekend, it'll be more direct. It'll be direct by the weekend.
And so what can we expect?
Well, then you can go ahead, buy your new car. Go ahead, sign that lease. Go ahead and take that vacation.
So it's not going to add any kind of extra complications that wouldn't be there.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good
Okay.
thing when Mercury goes direct.
Okay. And I'd like to announce something.
What's that?
It's your birthday
my
tomorrow.
God.
Happy birthday, Kelly.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Kel.
So I, for one, am glad that you were here.
Oh, thank you so much, Shirley.
You're welcome.
Well, me too. I'm sure that I'm also grateful that James was born.
Yes,
too.
yes,
I always think of him
Lovely
when I think of
James.
birth dates.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because my birthday is during the lunar, between lunar eclipse and the Mercury retrograde, this period of time. So what will that do for me?
Yeah.
It'll probably bring back old situations for me, to deal with this year. But it's a good thing.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's all for our soul to grow. So speaking of that, let's talk about toxic relationships. Then we're
Let's-
going to take some calls.
Toxic love relationships. Let's do. Now, I think the biggest kind of in a nutshell, right, from a psychological standpoint, a toxic relationship is one that, because a relationship is supposed to feel supportive. You're supposed to know in certain terms that person has your back.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to feel safe. And again, that doesn't mean that there aren't disputes and there aren't disagreements and things like that. But in a secure functioning relationship, if there's a disagreement or my partner said something hurtful, I come from the foundation that I know he or she didn't do it deliberately.
Right.
However, I still have a voice and say, listen, what you did or what you said really hurt my feelings. But it comes out more as I'm sharing with you how something felt to me as opposed to an accusation. When I don't have that foundation of my partner isn't deliberately out to hurt me, then my tone of voice changes. The words that I choose without even consciously realizing it changes, because I'll come at it with, hey, I need to let you know this, but I'm not, why did you do this? Or, with that suspicion of, I know you're trying to hurt my feelings.
Well,
so a toxic relationship feels exactly the opposite. It feels unsafe. It feels like this is a person I have to protect myself from. This is a person I have to always be on guard. Very different than feeling safe and secure.
And from a spiritual standpoint,
Yeah.
a toxic love relationship, it drains your vital life force. It takes your energy.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell when you're in one if you just go by, I'm exhausted all the time, or I feel bad about myself all the time. Because if your vital life force is up, you're going to feel joy, you're going to feel upbeat, and if you're supported by your partner, you're going to feel really good. You have to go do work, you go do work, you come home, your life is all gets to be about you in that sense. And you'll notice in a toxic relationship, it tends to be about them.
Yeah.
What's good for them? They're going to be in a bad mood. Because I did something.
Right. So what I want to do before we go on is we'll talk about this for another 5 or 10 minutes, but then we want to take your calls. So if you find yourself in a toxic relationship or you're not sure if you're in one, please give us a call, and Kellee will give you a reading, and I'll put in my 2 cents.
Oh, yeah. I'll put in my 6 cents.
Right. Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
So hang on the line, and we'll get to you in just a moment. But yeah, that's exactly it. It feels like it drains your energy. It feels like work. When something happens to you, your relationship isn't your first go-to because, oh no, what are they going to say? Or are they going to turn around and blame me or make me feel worse? When this is a person who should be a person that makes you feel good, that makes you feel supported, that can just hear you out when you need to be listened to, and or give you suggestions when you want suggestions.
Well, absolutely. And what happens spiritually, we come here for our soul to grow. So let's say you decide before you incarnate, I really want to learn about myself. And yet you pick somebody that's very toxic. It's somebody that it's all about that person. It's all about their drug use or their alcohol use or the fact that they want sex 10 times a day or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah. So it's never about your
It's never
feelings
about
or
your
your
feelings
needs.
or your needs,
Okay.
and there's no empathy for you. So that's another key component in that. So what happens with the universe is it gives you the opportunity to speak up for yourself. It gives you the opportunity to say, wait a minute, something's off with this. So let's say you finally get out of that relationship, but it's really a struggle, and then you jump right back into another one. The universe is saying, you didn't get the message, so let's try it again.
More learning.
There's more learning.
Yeah.
The universe will send you each time something that unless you learn it to grow, and again, it goes back to what I just said, you want to grow in this lifetime.
Yeah.
You come in spiritually for your growth. So to continue to pick a toxic relationship is no growth.
Right. Well, and they do give you the opportunity to practice something that may feel difficult to do. Like if you have a hard time setting boundaries, it gives you the opportunity to practice boundaries. If you have a hard time asking for what you need, gives you the opportunity to start doing that. Now, if this person is, we're calling this person a toxic person, from a psychological standpoint, these people have personality disorders, and we've discussed them before, but just as a very brief kind of overview, a personality disorder is a mental illness, but it's a character disorder. It's part of the person's character. It usually, there's a genetic component to it as well, but it usually starts early on. The most severe ones like sociopathy, narcissism, borderline. There's damage between 0 and 2, so it's pre-verbal. So the person grows up not knowing they have anything wrong with them, but everybody around them feels uncomfortable. They feel like their energy's drained, and it's always your fault. It will never be their fault. They never can see how their behavior is contributing to it, and so those are signs that you may be in a relationship with
somebody
someone.
with no empathy. And if you're in a relationship with somebody with no empathy, if you can get out of that, wait a period of time, and I know that people are not going to want to hear this, but I really believe, Shirley, that people should wait several months to a year before they jump into another relationship, so they can
you mean
go
after
in,
they get out?
after they get out,
Yeah,
so they can actually do work on themselves, because we actually come in to love ourselves and to learn about ourselves, and you have to pay attention to your intuition. The intuition, as soon as you meet the person, I mean, what I've noticed with my clients is that they'll go, well, his mother beat him and I feel so sorry for him. And then it just spirals. The next thing you know, you're involved.
Yeah. So then we use our intellect to rationalize, well, I get it because his mother beat him. And so, it's okay. He doesn't really mean it for me, or he or she, I mean, it comes in both male and female, right? And what's important also is to understand why you chose this person, because it's always easy to talk about, and can you believe he or she did this, and can you believe they did that, and they did that, but water seeks water. So if you are or were attracted to someone like that, it's important to be curious about what about you was attracted to someone like that. Yeah. So attraction isn't coincidence, and it's not random. I may find someone totally attractive, and you might go, Cheryl, do you have your glasses on? Right?
I have.
Right? You have. Al Pacino. Oh, he's so cute. So, so there's something that I'm picking up on.
Right.
It's intangible. You can't really put words to it, but there's something there.
Well, and, is this person that you contracted with to be from the other side? Did you make a contract to be with this person? Maybe you did, but if you did, it's probably about you finding your own voice, learning to set boundaries.
Or sometimes it's about you completing the karma in this lifetime.
Well, go you. And also, sometimes it's about learning what love is not.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a big one. Yeah. I learned that one, what love was not. And it's interesting, when you are finally, if you get to be so lucky that you find this amazing person, which I'm very fortunate that I have, because it's a huge difference between being in a horrible relationship and then being in an amazing relationship.
Yeah.
Night and day. It's night and day.
Yeah. Well, and that points to how much you've evolved and you've grown.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't think that you would have been attracted to him
probably
years ago
not.
when,
probably not.
even myself, when I was choosing those kind of relationships.
So
I think, dare I say we all might choose them, because on the one hand, from a psychological standpoint, they kind of point to the unresolved or unhealed wounds from our past. So many times, haven't you said, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm dating my mom or my dad," And so it's those
Yes.
wounds that we haven't quite. So they do feel like that kind of animalistic passion that many times you may not feel with someone who is kind and appropriate, not appropriate, but kind and supportive and stuff. I have so many patients that come in and say, but I don't feel that, but it's a great relationship.
Right.
Sometimes that passion, first of all, it goes away after a while. Yeah. That initial lust will always go away. Sometimes it's not really the best thing.
Do you hear this one? I hear this one all the time too. But nobody's ever going to love me again. He only loved me the most, or she only loved me. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
And just know.
It's not true.
Yeah. Just know that it's not true, and you will find someone.
Of course.
And once you heal the wounds that attracted you to that toxic person in the first place, you will find someone that can love you as much as you love them, and it can
as much as you love yourself.
Yes, that too. Well, you have to love yourself.
You have to love yourself.
You cannot. Another sign that you're in a toxic relationship is that they're giving you all the self-esteem. So when they call you or when they are nice to you, you feel good about yourself. When they're not, you feel terrible about yourself. If your whole self-esteem is dependent on how that person behaves with you, then you probably chose someone who uses that as manipulation and only gives you a little bit when they want something or they want you to convince you to do something.
Right. Very true. So pay attention to your intuition, going into your soul to see what is going on with me that I have chosen this.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Because your soul wants you to experience joy, wants you to experience real deep love. And it's always the love of yourself. That's really important, that you know that you love yourself too.
Yeah.
If you really love yourself, you're not going to pick somebody that's going to put you in harm's way.
Oh, well, you would never, because, think about if it's hard for you to conceptualize it as how you would be with yourself, what would you tell your friend? Or what would you tell your adult kids? It's okay to have that person treat you that way? Or is it not okay? I mean, you would say absolutely not. So then why are you allowing yourself to be treated that way? A lot of times do not treat ourselves the way that we would, or give ourselves the same advice that we would give other people.
Very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Well, the other thing is they're debilitating. So you'll know you're in a toxic relationship because it's debilitating. It's unhealthy. It's somebody who does not want your highest good. Your authentic self withers away. So who you are as a person starts to wither away, and you literally lose the ability to recognize the behavior that was unhealthy and unacceptable. So you may need a friend or somebody a therapist to point it out.
Well, what they will do is they will start to isolate you from your friends, so you can't reality check with anyone, and that's called, I think,
Gaslighting.
I was just going to say that, exactly. Gaslighting.
Yeah.
There was a movie about that. What was the movie? It's an old
Gaslight?
movie, right?
I don't know.
And
I
it
don't
was
remember.
about, the husband was trying to convince the wife that she was crazy, and ultimately she believed it, and she really wasn't crazy. So there's a lot of gaslighting where you start to question yourself. Anytime you think, is it me? Or anytime you think that, you might be in a relationship with someone who's toxic.
And the funny thing about all this is if you wait that year, you give yourself a year after you get out of that, I promise you're going to look back and go, what was I thinking? Like, what in the possible world did I want from that?
Yeah. So make sure if you're thinking about leaving a toxic relationship, make sure that you have a support system built in.
Yeah.
Because these toxic people who truly have a personality disorder, we're not talking about people who, every so often lose it or, that kind of thing, are very good manipulators, and they're extremely charismatic. So they will try to manipulate you back into the relationship. So make sure that you have a really, healthy support system to help you when you're trying to separate yourself from a relationship. So why don't we take a call?
Great idea.
Who do we have on the line, John?
All right, we have Kathy on the line. She tried to call in last week, and we promised we would get her on.
Kathy
So let's
from
get
last
her
week.
on.
I'm so glad you called, Kathy.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you
John, I
ladies
can't hear her.
tonight?
Can you turn it up, John? I'm so glad you got a chance to call us.
Me too. I'm so excited right now.
Yay.
good.
Kathy, what's your
Yeah,
birth date?
December 21st, 1957.
1957?
Yeah.
Well, I was born in 1957, so you're a 22, baby, with that. That means you're a builder. That's good. I like to see a fellow 1957, so you're going to be 59 this year as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I cannot believe it.
I can't
It's-
believe it
in
either.
December I'll be
Yeah.
20. I feel like I'm in my 30s, though, so
Well, your
I don't
voice
let
sounds
age
so
bother
young.
me too often.
Wow. Well, how can we help you today? I'm getting a mother around.
Well, I was really calling in because I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life, including, really bad relationships. And, there's always turmoil around me. And I also I see spirits. I've lost loved ones recently, and I see them in orbs, and they sometimes come up and hug me and touch me. Because I can feel when I get touched because it's like the best feeling that you've ever had in your whole life. I'm thinking that is what heaven must feel like. Because when I was in utter despair when my mother passed,
I
received
wrote
a
down
hug,
mother. I had written down mother. I said I could feel the arms of your mother around you. And I actually literally made a heart, and I wrote down mother here.
Yeah.
Just thinking about you with your mother. Oh, she was a lovely woman. And also, she had a lot of turmoil, too.
Pound or hang up. To review, press 1. To re-record, press 2. To mark this message
I don't know
urgent,
what that
press
is.
Is that
3.
you or is that
To
me?
mark
Or?
this message private, press 4.
It's
cancel,
Mercury
Apparently
retrograde,
she's-
folks.
Mercury retrograde.
To
Off we
transfer to
go.
assistant,
We're hearing, can you
press
hear,
0.
Kathy, can you hear that
Kathy, try
recording?
calling
The
us
auto
back,
attendant,
hon.
press 9.
We're going to try to call you back, Kathy.
Oh, gosh darn it.
I don't know what that was
She's
all
such
about.
a strong mother coming in.
That was the message from her mother, apparently.
I think her mother put her arms around the thing and went, whoops,
We're gonna-
when spirit hits the wrong button.
We're going to call her back here, so
Okay.
let's get her on the line.
Yeah.
Okay. But, that is part of Mercury retrograde. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things flip, flop.
Hi, Kathy.
That was bizarre.
Yeah, that was very
I
bizarre.
don't know what.
We've been having bizarre experiences all day, so there you go.
Kathy, I'm getting a throat thing around your mother, a throat. Like, I'm not sure if that she had trouble speaking or if there was something with her throat.
Near the end, she did have trouble swallowing. And
it looks like there
speaking.
was things that she
Yeah.
wanted to say that maybe she didn't even get out. But I can tell you that this woman loves you beyond, like to the moon and back. And also was a mother, it looks like, to your children.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat, yes.
'Cause I've got chills everywhere with this
she-
woman. I mean, this was like a mother,
Yeah.
the kind that makes soup, the kind that, and there's a lot of animals around her too. Animals, like sounds
yes,
weird, but
yes.
I'm seeing ducks around her. I have no idea what that means. I'm just going to say it when I see it.
She has. I actually caught her in an orb, and she has like all the dogs with her that we grew up with.
Yeah, she's got a lot of animals around
I didn't
her.
even realize that.
I'm sorry, what?
To me, I didn't
She
realize
realized
that
that.
all dogs really did go to heaven.
Oh, they absolutely need to. Everybody needs to know that the animals absolutely go to heaven, and they go to the Rainbow Bridge, and they're all there, and when they're
Awesome.
waiting for us when we cross over. And some sneak in earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, and I've just got a lot of other personal issues going on that I am just feel totally blocked. And I'm kind of like at a stalemate where I kind of want to just hide from the world, which I can't do right now because of other responsibilities. I'm just not really sure how to center myself and be able to deal with all these individual things that are going on that basically I am responsible for.
Well, I
I'm
think it's.
responsible to take care of them.
Are you responsible for your entire family as well? 'Cause I'm getting that.
Well, I wouldn't say for the entire family, but I am responsible for a lot of people's well-being. But I'm definitely taking care of my father right now, who is battling cancer, and he lives with me now, and that is a huge source of stress for me.
Well, we can
And
all
I'm
kind of
in my
relate to that. Yeah.
It's hard.
That is hard. I know, and it's what I said. I really mean this. People that were born in '57, they're tougher than they can imagine. You need to know that. They're 22s. 22s are builders. They can hold the energy. You came in actually to touch many lives in this lifetime and to work with a lot of people. You have a huge heart, and what I'm getting is that you're going to start receiving some help from other people that are going to come in and start to help you with this, help you with either the caregiving or help you in your life.
Okay.
Do you have a daughter? Do you have a daughter?
Yes, I actually have 3 daughters.
It looks like they're going to come in and help, or one of them in particular, a taller one, looks like she's going to come in and help. Or has she already been helping you?
She just started. You're so good. She just started about a week ago.
Yeah, that's going to help you a lot. That's going to start to ease the burden, But you actually chose in this lifetime to help your parents, help them be there. You were the one that said, "I'm going to be there for both of them," actually. And it looks like you helped your mother cross as well. And it's just part of your nature for what you're supposed to, what you came in to do. And the universe is going to start sending you as much they tell me you talk to them all the time, that you talk to your guides, your angels, everybody. You're out there with all of this, and you help other people with all of this. They're telling me that you almost direct traffic with this, that you tell people about their angels. And they're also saying that you have this loving support system around you. Okay, that you can take on as much as you've taken on. It does seem to get, after Mercury goes direct, it seems to me that it'll get a little easier for you. I mean, I don't know, easier. You didn't choose necessarily an easy life path. Not that I know anybody that has. Every once in a while I run into somebody. But is there anything more specific that I can help you with, that Shirley can help you with?
Well, just, I don't know. I guess I'm feeling weak lately. I'm depleted, and I've been doubting myself, and if I'm doing a good enough job, because the person that I take care of most of the time never shows any sort of appreciation. So you start doubting yourself, and I don't need all these accolades or anything like that. But
it's your vital life force is down. I mean, doesn't it sound that way?
Yeah.
It's your vital life force is down. Go out in nature, take your shoes off. I always recommend that people stand in the sand or in dirt or in the grass, go in the mountains, go to the beach. Where do you live?
I live in between Chico and Sacramento, so a beach is about 2-hour drive, but that's all right. Well, we have rivers.
Okay. But just stand out there, because the universe will give you a lot of energy that way. You breathe, you meditate outside, you get some sunlight, because you've got to take some time for yourself when you're a caregiver. You must.
I know.
So,
what are some good? I mean, I have asked to connect with my spirit guides, and they do seem to help me bring the spirits forward when I really want to talk to them, because I can actually hear some EVPs without even really good earphones when I listen back to my video. But how do I get a relationship with her to where I can really, or him, as where I can really hear what she's saying? Or is it just they direct you just some other way?
It's been my experience with spirit guides that every once in a while you can hear them speak. Every once in a while you can hear a big, your name called, or this, or all of a sudden you'll have an idea in your head, and that will be them. But remember, we have free will here. So what spirit guides do is they keep us on our path. So I've used this example many times, but if you're going to the store and then all of a sudden you hear a voice, a thought in your head that says, you know what, go to Starbucks instead, you're going to run into somebody that you need to meet. And that happens often with guides. They'll all of a sudden put a thought in your head. And what I'm hearing about it right now is that you're doing the best that you can, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be going forward. They're telling me that you keep a journal and that you write down everything that you want to have happen in your life. And just keep with that. Keep writing every single thing that you want to happen, okay? They're right there with you when you do that.
Boyfriend.
Well, you came in to have a love relationship. No, you came in to have a love relationship. You'll experience that. You'll have that again.
I hope so.
It's not even a matter of hoping so. You just will. You just will, Kathy. Just keep that. In order to pick somebody with good vibration, your vital life force has to be up. Okay?
Okay.
it sounds like that this depletion is giving you an opportunity to balance things out a little bit. It sounds like you're always there and you give to others, but you don't give to yourself, and you're just as important. So it could be that this is giving you the opportunity to figure out how to balance it. So to do a little bit for yourself. So many people think that, use the word selfish when that happens, when you have to say no to someone and set a boundary because you need something for yourself. And that's healthy. That's, it's a healthy balance. So it sounds like that this, because you're feeling so depleted, that's the only thing that would have caused you to pay attention and to really bring in a healthier balance for yourself.
Yeah, it's a really good life lesson.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it is a good life lesson.
And in fact, earlier on James' show, we had talked about other people's energy. And it's very important, Kathy, that you do a spiritual shower, either in the morning or at night, and just really focus on the golden light and do a cleansing so that you're clearing your aura of any other people's energy that might be draining your life force. And then when you get out of the shower and you're putting and you're wiping off, think of yourself as putting on armor or a protective shield that's going all around you, and in a white, a white bubble or a pink bubble, however you want. When you're toweling off and you're wiping off all that residue, and you're coming out clean and ready to face the day.
I love it, John. That's great.
Yeah.
That is great. That's awesome.
So
Well, it sounds like I got a lot to think about.
You do.
yeah, do for yourself. It's just
and know
as
you're
important.
loved. And
Yeah.
know you're loved.
Yeah.
So my mom is with me. And
Oh, gosh, your mom's
she-
with you.
Yep.
And also another thing is, Kathy, I'm going to mention this and then we're going to get to the next caller, but I wanted to say this. You actually came in to be around groups. So one of the things where you get a lot of your energy are groups, whether it's a spiritual group or some sort of group. In fact, you could run groups. You'd be amazed.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
I mean, I can see that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I really appreciate you taking my call.
Well, thanks for being so great about calling back.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thanks,
calling.
Kathy.
You
Bye-bye.
guys take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But, it is really equally important to take care of yourself
Oh,
when you're
yeah,
caregiving, and
absolutely.
that's a tough one.
There's this kind of, stigma that it's selfish, and it's
not.
It's almost
It's vital,
it's-
actually.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
vital because you're
It's-
giving away so much of your vital life force to do that.
It's abusive, actually, not to, and I use that
Right.
word very purposefully.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Ask for help, everybody. Okay.
Are you ready for your next
I
call?
am.
Yes.
All right. We have 512 on the line.
Where's that?
512. You're on the air with Kellee and Shirley.
Hi there. What's your name?
Hello?
Hi
Hi.
there. What's your name? Caller?
Oh, Chrissy?
Hi, Chrissy. Thank you so much for calling.
Hi, Chrissy. Did you
Thank
lose
you.
your mother? Got a lot of mothers today.
No.
Oh, okay. Is there a mother situation that you have? I got the first thing I got mother again.
Could be.
Well, what's your birthday?
Mainly it's 8/6/68.
Okay. Mainly it's what?
My relationship with my husband, or actually non-relationship.
Oh. Well, what is your husband's birth date, may I ask?
1/29/70.
Okay.
How long have you been married?
It was 2 years in June, but we didn't even make it to that.
Are you separated
Are
now?
you separated now?
Yeah, since February.
You know,
And he's shut me down.
I was going to say, he comes in with a very, how do you say this, not a relationship kind of a guy. More single than married. And I don't really even get that it's you. I really feel that he comes in as that way. And for you, a relationship is a lot. It's not everything, but you really do love the idea of being in a relationship. Would be key for you, you know. But the other thing is you also chose a very spiritual life, too. Are you working on any spirituality?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you okay? Is this hard for you? Is this a tough conversation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, honey. I'm sorry. Was there an affair?
I think I was the affair, and he left his wife and married me. And at the beginning, it was a fantasy relationship, and but then it turned abusive after we got married.
Oh. Boy, you're a perfect caller for today's show.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you've gone through this. It's a rough one, isn't
Well,
it?
my question is this is my second marriage, and I didn't find out. We went to marriage counseling last year to a intensive group thing, and in February when he left, he called one of the marriage counselors to talk to me because supposedly I was the problem, and the counselor told me that they had noticed he had narcissistic tendencies. Well, I didn't know anything about that, so I started doing a lot of research, and I realized my first husband was a narcissist, and then this one is a narcissist, but I don't know what the other part is, like if he's sociopath or psychopath or just a narcissist, or like, why do I keep attracting these people?
Well, narcissist is bad enough. So, you know, if there's something to add to that, it's important for you to grieve the end of the relationship, but know that you're definitely better off. And as Kellee was saying before, once you are able to kind of figure out and heal your wounds, so you won't attract those kind of people anymore.
But you know, it's a very good question. Why do I heal? Why do I choose that? Why have I chosen that? I don't know if you've ever done any work on yourself, but now would be the time to do it. And I have to believe that you came in here, you personally came in for a spiritual life. So you may have chosen people that have no empathy. So it would push you to a place of having to adopt a spiritual frame of reference and to learn to love and care about yourself. And I think that I'm glad that we're having this conversation. It's an important one. Are you in therapy now?
I went for a couple of times, but he cut me off financially, so I can't afford it.
Oh, yeah.
And
he sounds like
it's
a real
just-
narcissist.
I mean, I try to be spiritual. I did a lot of praying and, reading scriptures and things like that. And
I don't necessarily
Yeah,
mean
so I was
scriptures,
trying to-
but I mean just to sit in
Yeah.
silence with yourself, to meditate, and to really to be in nature, to really start to feel how you feel. It may take a lot of crying. It may take a lot of. You have to have compassion for what you've gone through, because I've been there. I've done it. and I've pulled out of it. I did it more than twice, sadly. I'm sad to report. I think I did it like 4 or 5 times. Unfriggin' believable. It took me forever to get it. Honest to God. But then what I was saying earlier is that time alone, you know, when you're the other woman and then you marry him, it's, and this is not a judgment call. This is like does your soul really need to go through that? And I guess it does. You know, on a lot of levels, people do. Yeah. I hear about this all the time, as you do. But to take
people
time,
don't understand the level of lies. I mean, the way he lied. You know, I'm a teacher. I wouldn't go and do that. He lied and
so then you have to. But then you need to ask yourself this: when did you lose your intuition about it? When did you have an idea that there was a red flag? And everybody out there needs to pay attention to red flags, your intuition. If your intuition is saying something's off, but I'm so attracted to him, but something's off, listen to that something's off voice.
Do you recall having that something's off?
It wasn't until like 8 months in, and then you know, my parents sat me down and said, "Look, he's confused. Forgive him. You know, you need to be understanding and patient, and that, you know, that's how I've been raised. Turn the other cheek, and you know, be understanding and forgiving." And so that's what I did, and you know, we rebuilt our relationship, and everything was great, and we got married, and I'm living like a fantasy life. All my dreams came true. I mean, he was like my soulmate, and we were just perfect together. But then, you know, as I understand, the mask starts falling.
Yeah. Yes.
But my question is, do I forget it, or do I say, I mean, what do you do with these people? Do you just throw them away? I mean,
well, do you have any reason to be connected with him? Do you have kids together, or any kind of?
No.
Okay.
I really loved him.
Yeah. So
I do love him. And
when you say, do you just forget it? What do you mean by that?
Like, you know, because I read a lot of stuff about relationships and stuff, and how people work through them, and they stay with their partner, they go through the hard times, and they do counseling and therapy and all that, and they come out on the other side. So that's why I'm like, is it possible for us to succeed, or is it a lost cause?
When someone has a personality disorder, it's not possible, because they can't own any of it. There's no awareness. And when there is no awareness, how can I change something I'm not even aware of that I have? Did you feel that he always blamed you, and it was always your fault and something that you did, or was he able to own stuff?
Sometimes he would say it was his fault, or he would apologize, but it didn't seem very sincere. But he always usually he blamed it on my kids, or it was always someone else's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes when they do apologize, if you don't feel that it's sincere, it could be just to either stop so the conversation goes away, or to get you to do something that they want, you know, or to get you to not be mad at them, or there's always a motivation behind it as opposed to a sincere apology, because I really feel bad that I hurt you, or I feel bad that you're hurt.
And it feels like you are sold the illusion. That's what you're in love with, not the actual person. It's sort of like the character that he played is what you're attracted to, or what you're feeling.
The fantasy.
Yeah, the fantasy. Yeah. It's not so much the person himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to come to grips with, that it was all fake. And I just like, how could I have been fooled?
It happens to many, many thousands and millions of us.
People with, and again, we're not diagnosing him. We don't know him.
We don't know him.
But based on what you're saying, and based on what your last therapist said, that he did seem to have narcissistic tendencies, they are extremely charming. Otherwise, nobody would get anywhere near them.
Right.
But they are some of the most charming, charismatic people you will ever meet. So it is, you know, a clue into it is, if it feels too good to be true from the beginning, know that there's something off. Yeah. You know, too much too soon, too good to be true. Know that there might be something off. You know, relationships and connection, and those attachment connections should start slow. Right. Trust doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
And if it does, and it feels like, this person is, again, too good to be true, or too much too soon, know that in and of itself is a red flag. Although we so want to, we love the illusion of it, or the fantasy of it, and so we tend to ignore that. But that is a red flag.
And you know what? Do not beat yourself up over this. Please do not. I mean, you are a soul having an experience, and really spend some time with yourself to figure out what you learned from this. And take your time. This is not a time to jump into another relationship. This is the time to really do your inner work so you can and understand and have compassion for what you went through. It's really difficult when you've been with any type of personality disorder.
Yeah.
It does take time to heal, but you'll come out of this.
It could possibly be that what to learn, since you're saying that this is, your second kind of narcissistic person that were attracted to, is maybe you didn't feel loved as a child. And so we'll attract someone who initially feels like they love us completely, but ultimately it's not about us. And you find out that they don't love you. And so maybe the work is on learning to love yourself, finding your self-worth. That could be part of your work. Usually it is part of the work.
Absolutely. It's part of all of our soul's journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When I thought I had done that from my first divorce, because I didn't get into anything serious for 12 years. I focused on my kids, and I mean, I dated, and I enrolled in a holistic health coaching program. My dad got sick with cancer, and I focused on him. I did a lot of healing. I felt like I finally healed all my, stuff from my first marriage. And then I meet this guy, and, one of my best friends introduces me and tells me, he came with references. So that's why I kind of overlooked some of the stuff, because she's, he's a great guy, blah, 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 and all this stuff. So, and I thought that I was really healed, and I was in a really good place. My dad made it through chemo, and, everything was really good. And I just trying to trust myself. I was trusting myself because I'm like, finally I'm in line with the universe, or my stars aligned.
Well, let me ask you something, Chrissy. What was your gut telling you? Because the gut is our intuition. What was that telling you? Was that screaming at one point? Was it,
No, I thought he was my soulmate. I mean, I just couldn't believe how we clicked, and it's almost like he could read my mind about different things. And it wasn't, the thing was, is when I went into the relationship, I wasn't desperate. I never wanted to get married again. I was so, pissed off from my first husband and all the stuff and abuse I went through with him. And I kept everyone at an arm's length. And
So let me
I wasn't
ask you
desperate
this.
to get into a relationship.
So what was the first thing that happened?
What do you mean?
What was the first thing that was different? Was the first thing that kind of the first abusive thing that happened, or the first thing that he did that didn't go along with what you thought it was?
He up and moved out while I was at work, and I came back, and he had packed up, and he was moving out, and with no explanation, and going back to his ex-wife.
Wow.
I mean, it was like,
but you're meaning from the beginning, Shirley, right?
So yeah, so when you say it was abusive, other than him moving out without any kind of talk or communication, were there moments where he was abusive?
Up until that point, he was perfect. I mean, we hardly ever. I mean, we didn't fight. We didn't fight. We got along well. I mean, everything was just easy. It was just really easy.
Were there things that didn't make sense?
Some things, yeah.
Well, name one.
But I mean, he sent his ex-wife flowers for her birthday, but I saw the receipt on an email or something.
So he didn't tell you about it?
I wanted to know what that was about, and he said he did it on behalf of his son.
Okay, but he didn't tell you about it?
No.
Okay. So that's, if it was on behalf of the son, that's wonderful. I think that a relationship between two exes should be amicable if there are kids involved, but it's something that he should have told you. Hey, I want to let you know that I'm doing this on behalf of my son, and I want to let you know so you're comfortable with it, and so on. So there was it seems like there was some...
Secrets?
Yeah, secrets.
Yeah, there was a lot that I started finding out.
I was going to say, I mean, we could go back in history here, I'm sure, and figure out
Yeah.
a lot of the red flags.
So I'm wondering, and if I think it's important to because it sounds like you did do a lot of work, and it sounds like you were, bamboozled by someone who was really good at manipulating. So this may be something, a little bit more for you to work with a therapist so you can explore those issues, because I'm going to assume that there was things that maybe in hindsight now you can look back and go, I didn't think that was okay, but I didn't ask about it because everything was so great. I didn't want to make any waves or something like that.
And usually if he happens to be sociopathic, and we're not diagnosing, but if he happened to be, you can always look back.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part
and
about
know
it.
that sociopaths are unbelievable at manipulation and at covering their steps, and so have some compassion for yourself for not
absolutely.
having figured it out. So we're going to need to go to another caller, but thank you so much for
Thank
calling.
you.
I mean, I hope that helped, but if you can, maybe there's a therapist that works on a sliding scale or something like that, because I think this would be an important thing to explore with someone else.
And also, I think we have a guest next week that wrote a book on this. So
Yeah,
that would be
actually,
an interesting thing for you to do. To listen next week.
Listen next week. We're going to interview Marina Baker, and she's the author of Dangerous Liaisons, and she wrote a book she was in one and wrote a book on how to,
Empower?
Well, how to empower yourself, how to get out, and what signs to look for, and what to do. So please tune in next week, because it's going to be a great interview with someone who is actually talking about being in a relationship with, and the title "Dangerous Liaisons" is so
Fabulous.
interesting.
Yeah.
So thank you for calling.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's take.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we take one more call, John?
We can. We have about 4 minutes left.
Oh, okay. Let's take
so
another
we're gonna
call.
do a real quick one.
Okay, so let's see here. 970. I think this is in New Jersey. 970, you're on the line.
Hello there.
Are you there?
Nope.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi there. What's your name?
Hi, this is Cynthia.
Cynthia? Is that your
Yes.
name? Cynthia? Cynthia, what's your birthday?
Yes.
If you're on speakerphone, can you put us on regular
Sorry,
phone, please?
11/25/81.
Are you there, Cynthia?
Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Where are you, Cynthia? Where are you calling from?
Colorado.
That's what I thought. I could feel the mountains around, and I was like, where are you?
Are you on speakerphone?
Yes. Do you want me to get off?
Yeah, please, because there's an echo. Thank you.
Cynthia, did you lose
Uh-huh.
there's a man around you. Did you lose your husband?
Yes.
Yeah, I could feel him. Oh, boy. There's a lot of love with that, too. Oh, boy. Boy, this has been a rough one for you, hasn't it? Because I could just feel that there's a deep sadness there. There's like oh, my gosh. Whoa. Was this an accident? Because it looks like it happened kind of... I don't think he meant to go. I mean, he tell me he didn't do self-harm here.
He overdosed or he committed suicide.
Oh, God. I was like, he didn't mean it. No. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, we're not.
Oh, God. He really did not mean to do it. He actually didn't. This man didn't. Sometimes I work with suicide people that really did mean it.
Yeah.
I'm getting that he is very in pain about the pain he caused you. And are there children around you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's very, he has his head down, and he's just in a lot of pain for the pain that he has caused this family. And it looks like his mother, there's pain around her. There's pain every which way I go with this guy. He spends a lot of time right in the house with you, just trying to make up for it. And he just was out. He's telling me he had major depression, and it looks like he was addicted, and it looks like he was he could not have helped himself. He heard voices. Was he paranoid?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm getting the voice.
And he would tell me all the time.
And he would
that
what?
he would hear voices.
Yeah, I'm just hearing that.
He
All,
would-
it's still okay. So let me tell you what happens in a case like this, because I know we don't have a lot of time here, but I don't want to leave you hanging. They picked him up. It looked like his mother. No, not his mother. His grandmother and a friend had picked him up when he passed, because you need to know that. So a call goes out in the universe 6 to 8 weeks before somebody passes over, even if it's suicide, even if it's an accident, even it doesn't matter what it is. They came to pick him up. He was surrounded in love. You need to know that. And he's talking about a particular blanket that you had him wrapped in. There's some sort of a special meaning to it. I'm not sure what it means, unless you're around him with a blanket. No. On your bed, there's a blanket. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a special thing.
Yeah.
Okay. With him, for him. And but what happened is, on the other side, when they took him, he is getting the help he needs. You need to know that he is getting the help they needs. What they do is they put them in a special, like a hospital, if you will, on the other side for the soul to heal. Okay. Because it's the whole thing is a traumatic for everybody, for us here, and it was a traumatic when he left. He just, he had so many, he's telling me he was insecure, he had issues. I'm not sure if there's an eating disorder too, but there was a lot of problems here with this guy. And so, and he's telling me that your friends were all around him afterwards. You had some sort of a memorial or something with all his friends, and how much love that, I can't tell you the healing that does. When that happened, the healing for him was just unbelievable. Okay, you need to know that. He's just concerned about you and the family. He's concerned very and deeply. Oops, I hit my nose on this. I'm like getting this, sorry. But like deeply, deeply concerned. He's telling me that you have a preoccupation with death. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Are you suicidal, honey?
Oh, no.
Okay. But you've been I have to ask. That's the therapist in me. But I always have to ask, because he's telling me that you're preoccupied. Does that mean you're preoccupied with his death?
Yes.
Okay. It was, he says he didn't feel anything. He slipped right out. You need to know that, okay? He just slipped. He slipped into it. So there wasn't
Any suffering or
he
pain.
didn't suffer, but he knows that you're suffering. And he also says that you have. I need to ask you about your anxiety disorder. Do you have an anxiety disorder?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And he's talking about your nails, like you really chew them.
No, I spend a lot of time like getting them professionally done, and I'm always showing them off.
Oh, okay, because he's doing this with the nails. I thought it was chewing them.
No. But you're saying that you get them professionally done, and then you're alwaay chewing them off?
No, I'm always showing them off.
Oh,
Everybody's
because
always
he's
telling
doing
me,
this with the
'cause
nails. I thought it was chewing.
Okay. I would suggest that you get into a support group
I would
or
too.
some help, particularly if you have anxiety. And Colorado is actually the birthplace of somatic experiencing. Do you live anywhere near Denver?
Yes.
Okay, so look up Somatic Experiencing Trauma Institute. Google that, and John will put it up on the board, and see if you can find a somatic experiencing practitioner, because that will really help you with the grieving that you're doing, and also with the anxiety. Anxiety is about not feeling safe, so that comes from way back then. It doesn't just start now, although you could be feeling anxious about the preoccupation with death. But I would suggest that you get into therapy.
Yeah, and find a group. A group would be really good for you.
Yeah.
Because you're a really good soul.
Okay.
And I'm sorry for what you're going through.
Yeah. It sounds like this message was to tell you that you had nothing to do with it, and it was all his.
It was his stuff.
It was his stuff.
He had a lot of stuff. He had a lot of baggage.
Definitely. Yeah. But it's nice to hear that it wasn't about me.
No, it's not about you. This was really about him. Yeah. He's telling me that you did everything. So, and you also, he says you were very social. He was not. He had a lot of issues.
He did. He definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling. I'm so sorry that we have to.
I have to say
you.
one last thing.
Okay.
He says that you were his true love. That you.
Yeah, he used to tell me that all the time, because we met when we were really young, got together for a few years, left each other, and then we got together again, and I had a daughter from him.
Wow.
Says you were his true love. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I wish you the best in your healing journey, and please seek out a therapist. I think it'll be really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for calling.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to invite people to stay online. We're actually going to pre-tape the next show for next week with Marina Baker, the author of Dangerous Liaisons. So if you are in a toxic relationship or have been one and you want to ask questions for Marina or for Kelly or
me,
myself, please stay on the line. We are going to pre-tape it, so it's not going to be live, but you'll be able to hear it next week. Okay? And on Facebook, we're going to post, posting that Kelly found that was a wonderful post about the differences between love and toxic love. So look for that. Like us on our Facebook, Both Sides Now TV, and on Twitter, and we will post that up so you can take a look at the difference between love and toxic love.
Yay.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening, and we will not see you live next week, but we will have a show with Marina Baker, and please stay on the line if you want to ask her or us any questions, as we will be pre-taping it for next week. Thank you.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo Dr. Shirley and Kellee White.
Two perspectives, one world.